So from the video where we were talking about, is this a good time to buy, or is it just capitalizing on a gearhead nature, which is fine because I'm a gearhead, but it's good to take opportunity, or is it? I put a question on the channel saying who has bought something with this Nikon promotion. 66% have said they haven't bought anything, so 34% have, and of those, I've had some interesting comments about what they've exchanged for or traded for, and also some initial reactions about what they've got. Well, this is interesting because you don't get this reaction from the average person. You only get them from the big YouTubers and all the YouTubers like me and Loz, who always just say our point of view, projecting out. So I thought, well, let's hear from you. Let's see what you've bought and your initial reactions. Do you have any buyer's remorse about what you've just bought? You know, did you buy, the 51.2 and realise, oh, there isn't that much difference between 1.2 and 1.8, but the size of the lens makes it unusable. So my buy has been the Torpedo, the 180 to 600, and spoiler alert, it's actually better than I thought it was going to be. I've really enjoyed using it. I love the zoom. Going from 180 to 600 has been so much fun. Although over the last week there's been a big storm here and it's just, you can't go out in it. We're coming out of that now, but my first initial 2 trips with it, I've really enjoyed it. I think the quality is absolutely there. But how will it compare to my prime lens? Will I be missing out on much quality in using a zoom versus a prime? But the person I got this from, right from the shop, the person traded it in because it was too heavy. Well, I find it super light. Well, not super light, but light enough for me to carry. I carried it around for a whole afternoon in my hands with a camera, and I had no problems at all because I'm used to the 400 2.8. But that was obviously their buyer's remorse, that they didn't realise how heavy it was going to be and impracticable for their use. Yongnuo have sent the 35 f2 lens and for us to review, because the Yongnuo 85 we reviewed, for the first time, Loz and I said we would prefer to get the Yongnuo lens over the Nikon version for our use case, because it was professional line in our opinion. So it'll be really interesting to see how this 35 f2 does in comparison to the 85, and will it be better than the Nikon version or the other third-party lenses. So I'm reviewing that as well. And coincidentally, on top of that, another 35 has popped up. So I've started to use this beast, the D700, and I'm really enjoying it so far. A few tests side by side, and I do like the colour straight out of camera. But I was short of a lens because all my lenses, my f-mount lenses, are big and heavy because I use them for event photography, the big 1.4 primes. And I found a great opportunity, big reveal, my new buy, unfortunately. But it's fortunate because it is this. It is the 35 f2D. Look how small it is. Look how tiny. You can barely see it when I hold it back. I found this in mint condition from a camera store. I think they just wanted to get rid of it in a way. But it's in mint condition. Now this could be anywhere from 1995. I'm not sure when they stopped making it, but to find one in mint condition, and it really is in mint condition, and it's amazing because that goes straight on my D700. Because this camera is so heavy, comparatively heavy, let's see how it goes on. I only just got this yesterday. Came in the post. Don't break it. Yeah, so you can see already how small it is on my D700, and it's super light, and that helps because this is a big, heavy camera. And when I first put it on, it didn't autofocus, and I thought, because it's got a lovely aperture ring, but you have to have the aperture ring on. I'm not sure you can see it. You have to have the aperture ring on f22 to be able to use autofocus even on the D700. So you can't use the aperture ring even on DSLR, and it won't autofocus at all using FTZ using a mirrorless. So that'll be manual. So that'll be really interesting to see how this lens how it works with the D700. Will it add to its character of the camera? Will it even further accentuate it? And how will these old lenses, relatively old lenses, compare to, well, I've just got the young new 35 f2, and this is a 35 f2 from 1995. Be interesting to compare, how these two kind of look, more than just sharpness. I think they're all going to be sharp these days, as we've discovered. It's all about the character and the image style that produces. And also I came into some problems. So I did buy another thing, actually. It's actually the Delkin Black 150 gigabyte card, because this wasn't something I just fancied buying, because Loz has had the same issue. Our Sony XUDs, even though they perform really well, so as you can see, there's a big chip off it. And at the bottom there, you can see that it's chipped away at the bottom, which, does make me nervous. And my other card, I've got another one that's in a similar state, but they work really well. I've had no problems. And I always take the card out to use them in the computer, because I just find it really difficult for my computer to recognize all the files if I just plug the lead in from the camera. I don't like that. It's just not the way I can deal with my file organization. Actually, our last video we filmed with Loz, I put this in my computer through the card reader and it said no files. I was like, oh, okay. And then I put it back in the camera and it said no files. And I knew there was, because I looked at it back when we filmed it. And I thought, I can't take that risk with my professional event photography. Just imagine if I did a wedding and the photos aren't there. And it does seem better built already. It does seem more harder construction with metal around the sides and less plastic. So I haven't noticed any difference in speed yet, to be honest, but I've got to do the tests on that. So I've resisted buying the Z6 III, even though it's on a fantastic offer at the moment here in the UK. It's £2,000 brand new. Nikon have chopped off £700 here, and that's amazing. Because when the Z6 III was initially came out, Loz and I said, well, you may as well just go to a Z8 because there's only a few £100 difference. And now there's a £1,000 difference. The Z8 brand new over here is £3,000 on Nikon promotion. So a £1,000 difference. So I think the big opportunity of this season over here is getting the Z6 III. But I haven't jumped into it because I've got the ZF, which I'm filming with now, and the 40 f2. The ZF is more or less just as capable as the Z6 III. I don't think there's much difference in its capability. Mainly the difference is the ergonomics of the controls. So I've held off. But this is also a good chance for you guys to comment what you bought, but also advice about if you're wanting to buy something. It's a good chance for all the viewers of the channel to help each other out, and I'll input as well, and Loz. If you're deciding, oh, should I get a Z50 Mark II? Or should I get a Z6 III or a ZF? I do want to make a buyer's guide from old generation mirrorless to new generation mirrorless, because there's a lot of confusion about which one is better for that person. And sometimes I read that, oh yeah, the Z6 is just as good as the Z6 III. Well, yeah, in some ways it is, but there's a lot of differences obviously too. So anyway, I've been rambling on. I'm just interested to see your reactions from things. Okay, see you next time.